Okay, so today's video, we're going to specifically talk about one word, and the word is called influence. And I want to tell you, at the end of the day, this is a conversation I had actually in Japan with the amazing best-selling author of the game, The Truth, and so many amazing books. His name is Neil Strauss. By the way, I realized that Neil is actually the ghostwriter for so many celebrities. Those celebrities with their biographies, and Neil is actually the one writing it, even though you think the celebrities the one writing, whether comedians, famous musicians, etc. He's the one writing it. And he was asking me specifically because he knew from my buddy Zen that I was in the marketing. He was asking me, so what exactly happens in the world of social media and all this kind of thing. I was like telling him about this idea of influence and how, funny enough, this influence flywheel that I'm going to describe today is funny enough how I got to be in Tokyo meeting Neil Strauss and so many amazing people also. So let me take you back in time. 18 years ago, I dropped out of school and I started out this entrepreneurship journey. I had no friends, not that I know friends, but I know entrepreneur friends because when I was 20 years old, my friends were in university, so I know entrepreneur friends, no network. Next one, I didn't have specifically any money. I didn't have any skills. The only thing I had time and energy also. And was a kid who lived in a HDB flat in Bukit Batok, west side of Singapore. So how did that individual grow to become somebody that impacts lives around the world? It all down to influence. It's all down to influence. Really, really critical. Now, a lot of this influence is self-generated, unless your last name is like, Buffett, or you a Bush, or an Obama, or in Singapore case, a Lee. You probably will not be able to inherit any influence unless your parents are really famous. So you have to self-engineer a lot of this influence. Now, self-engineered influence, very important. We're going to talk about this. Really critical. A lot of people buy leads. They buy leads, they have all these things, they have a whole bunch of email addresses and phone numbers. Cool. You know these people, but do they know you? Every time a person interacts with you, they do one of three things. They either status match, which means you have the exact same status as them, or your status below them, which means they have a higher status than you, or they status elevate, which you look up to you. So my job in this video is for you to be the person that people look up to. Because why? When they look up to you, then they want to be around you, then they want to introduce you to their friends, they invite you to things. Because if they status match, that's kind of cool, not bad, you guys can be peers. But if you are lower status than them, then it's going to be a problem. They're going to hang out on you, not treat you well, etc. I understand this because when I first started this entire journey 17, 18 years ago, I was a nobody. I dress like this, pretty simple. Outfit, Singapore, very hot. And I would reach out to people, want to hang out with people, and nobody want to hang out with me. Why? Because until you have value, until you have status, you're a nobody, which means you want to hang out with people, they might not want to hang out with you. So I knew about all these people, but they didn't know who I was. These days, when I want to hang out with people, I still wear exactly the same stuff. They part their calendar, part the Red Sea. They're like, oh, they always have time for Melvin. Whether it's like 12 midnight, 1 a.m., early in the morning, they will do it. Why? Because now I have value and I have status. I must tell you, in this video, we're going to talk about how you can self-engineer this. So you have to understand, law of status and value. We always have time for people with value and status, and a lot of it is down to this word, and the word is perception. I want to tell you a story from a long time ago. When I first started this journey, I was actually a marketer for a dating coach back in the day, 2008, 2009. Remember my buddy at that point in time, who was my partner at that point in time, his name is Martin. And Martin was talking about this idea from a lot of guys that were dating coaches and maybe even pickup artists. That's how I got to know Neil Strauss. He wrote the pickup artist book, The Game. A lot of these guys wanted specifically to elevate their status, especially in a nightclub. Now, nightclub's not really my kind of thing, but I love the story because it just shows you how much of value and status is perceived. So there were two ways to get a high-end nightclub, because if the first way is money. Now, if you have money, cool, awesome, VIP, you cut the line, you go in. That's fine. If you have money, maybe you get a nice table, and then hopefully you got beautiful girls coming over to your table, and they will drink and whatever and hang out with you. Who knows? What if you don't have that kind of money? If you don't have that kind of money and you don't use what I'm about to share with you, you got to stand in line. It might be a long line. It might not be your night. You might not have a chance to go in. And so a lot of these guys started to be social engineers. They started to engineer their own status and value. One of the key ways they would do it was to get a guy who with a big ass camera to take pictures of you around. If you walk up to the bouncer and you got people taking pictures, no worries, no worries. You can take your time. Everything is fine. All right, we'll check the price of Esther. All is good. Oh, are we on?
Yeah, it's still rolling. And you never stop your one. Also.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, anyway, so that was one of the ways you got your money. The second way was if you're standing in line and you get a people taking pictures of you. Now you look like a celebrity, and when you walk up to the bouncer, the guy now needs to take a look and be value state. And when you walk up, the bouncer now needs to make a value decision. Are you a celebrity you want to let in or throw to the back of the line? And if you have a bunch of people taking pictures of you, you must be somebody famous. And usually that's how you can social engineer with just some cheap cameras to cut the line and go all the way to the front because the flash is what attracts people. So a lot of things we can engineer to elevate our status and value so that people think we are cool. Now, this is not an excuse to not have value because you can engineer it. That's cool. Teach you a whole bunch of methods. However, if you actually don't have value, then later on you'll be found out and there'll be trouble. So you need to have intangible, which means it looks awesome, and you need to have tangible value, which means it works. But let's talk about self-engineering and how we can attract people to come. So the way you attract people to come is you always want to look for just one person first. When you look for one person, whichever that target is, you only have that one. Because when you have that one, you can take a picture. And the second thing, right, is you can take a video and you can write an account about it. You see, when you just have one, whatever it is, one client, one person, you go online, you took all my money away right now. I got to restart this from scratch. What would I do? I start a Facebook account. I put some content out. I sound like an expert. Maybe I am an expert. I offer people some consults. Very simple. Why? I just need the first person there. I can take a picture. I can take a video. I can write about these things. And then off that, I can use to spin it to get the second one. And when the second one comes and I can talk about it, then you get the third one. Now, here in Singapore, you kind of realize every time there's a crowd, it comes in three waves. The first one are the bunch of people that go over there and form the initial crowd. Maybe they're curious about what happens. The moment there's an initial crowd, the second wave of crowd comes because there is a crowd. A crowd attracts more crowd. The third wave comes because there's two layers of crowd. There must be something good. And it follows and follows and follows and follows and follows. So the key is to get the first circle of crowd. Now, how do you get the first circle of crowd? You get the first person in. You get the first person being the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and now you've got a real whirlwind of attention going on. I tell people, but more attracts more begets more. So if you want to work, say, hey, what does this got to do with anything? How does this work? Very simple. Here is a method that actually works. If I want to get to know more CEOs, here's what I'll do. Instead of just DMing them and getting ignored, I'll interview one of the CEOs. I just need one. I interview one, I take the picture, I take the video, I write an account about it, I put it online. Sure as heck makes it easier to attract the second one because the second guy goes to my profile and goes, oh, you interview CEOs, well, looks like there's another person, and they come. Now, I got two stories that I can tell. It's easier to attract. The third, I do this a while. After a while, I got the pictures, I got the videos. I have perceived association, perceived authority. I now have done 10 of these things. The 11th one comes easy, and the 12th and the 13th come easy. How do I know this also? Because back in 2009, I created also a dating product. I wanted to interview all these dating coaches from around the world. Now, nobody knew who I was. I was starting out in the industry. I found one person from Singapore to do it. Then the first person gave me the second person. Then the second gave me the third person. Now I've done all three dating coaches in Singapore. It was really easy to go to the Philippines and ask people whether they were interested in doing it. I said, I interviewed all the dating coaches in Singapore. By the time I cleared the whole of Asia, I'd done about 7 or 8. Then I went over to America and said, hey, you know what, guys, I've done all the dating coaches in Asia. Would you want to jump on my product? And I got 18 of the world's best dating coaches at that point in time create this product for me. I would even get into the part where I, after interviewing them, asked them to refer me more people to interview. Then I also proceeded to ask if they were willing to affiliate promote the product. So I went from zero, knowing nobody, to having 18 of these people create a product with and for me, and turn 18 of them into affiliates for my product. And managed to make a very good sum of money during that period of time as I started out this entire project. So that's something that really, really works. So how can you kickstart this? Very simple. Whatever you want to do, you just need to find one person first. Find that one person, add value, whatever podcast, interview, have their association, do that thing and make sure it's taken photo of. You can write about it and you can film it. Now, when you can write about it, you can film it, etc. Right? You create that publicity for yourself. Get a second, get a third, get a fourth, etc. Work hard at it. After a while, there's a whirlwind of attention around you. Now you understand when people have a whirlwind of attention around you, more begets more. The cyclone sucks more things in. Suddenly it becomes a big hurricane. That's how it is. And that is how, my friends, I found myself in Japan. Why? I've been doing this thing for a while, helped a lot of different people. Find myself in Manila, went up to Ken Honda, who was one of the great speakers on wealth psychology. You know, Mind Valley, amazing speaker. Japan is like a deity, written like, 160, 170 books already, millions of copies. So at that point of time, I helped so many people. So I passed the vibe check. Got invited to cooler places, be able to help him. And finally, with the aid of my buddy Zen, got invited to meet Neil. And as I was there in a foreign country and meeting some amazing people, I thought to myself, many years ago, I'm just a kid who grew up in the west side of Singapore in a little flat. How did I find my way here? The key thing is what? I started with all these small things. It started the whole whirlwind of influence, association, doing a lot of good, helping a lot of people. Word spreads. Eventually, you cook a nice whirlwind up for yourself. You find yourself in some amazing places. So take away. Go find one. Film it, shoot it, get a picture, write about it, find the second one, find the third one, work at it. And eventually, as you build up this perception online and offline of authority, you find yourself in some great places.